look forward to, and many a times we don't talk about it as much. As I've been introduced, my name is Anthony Odhiambo. I'm in consultancy and basically in learning and business advisory. I've been in the pension industry for the last 20 years. Actually, I clocked 20 years this month. And I believe that the topic that we are going to discuss this evening is going to have an impact, basically looking at where you sit based on your age and what you're looking forward to. It is a topic that I'm so passionate about because having dealt with employees, and especially so in the pension sector, and looking at people when they get into employment, then the journey up to the time they retire, then I felt that what kind of ministry will I be better into to ensure that these people get the information that they require, even if they don't act on it, but basically somebody do not complain or do not give excuses that they were never told. So this is a topic that I'm so passionate about. And at any one particular time, I live it, eat it, walk it, talk it, so that as the Bible, as we all go to the church, I think retirement retirement is real, and it is a subject that we should always be alive to, because without it, then it means that we are working for nothing. So welcome once again for those who've made time to tune in. I believe and hope that I'll be able to meet your expectation. This is going to be a discussion. Remember, this is a webinar, not real training. And I hope and believe that after this, you'll be able to have gotten some tidbits. And out of this also, you'll be able to walk and ensure that you attend trainings whenever you are called upon. And if you are in a leadership position, I urge you that I ensure that the team that you basically lead attend trainings that pertains to retirement. So with that said and done, and you've put the face to the voice, I'll like that I go to the crux of the matter. And at this particular opportunity, let me again thank Hallmark Institute for giving me the opportunity basically just to talk to us on this particular topic. So before I go to my slide, I'll want to state that retirement is a personal responsibility, ladies and gentlemen. I think we are running this program on the after just the High Court. If you read the papers today, the High Court has actually pronounced itself on the NSSF Act 2013 as null and void. If you knew what was happening on the NSSF Act 2013, it was to compel employers and compel us as people who are in employment to save more for our retirement. So with the High Court pronouncing itself on the nullity of that act, it means that, as humans, there's one thing with us is that we always just want things simple. Many a times we like simplicity. We will wish not to save more. And unfortunately, it is us who will be retiring. By the time you are retiring, it is not your employer who will retire with you. What they are doing currently is just what they can, just to ensure that you get the best out of it. So retirement is a personal responsibility, and we should always be alive to the fact that if it is a personal responsibility, then what exactly are we doing just to ensure that we got everything right? I'm trying to share my slides. Christine, can somebody confirm that you can see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Yes, Anthony, the slide is okay.
Thank you. Good. So guys, welcome aboard. I think I'll be able to take around 45 minutes just to take you through what I have for you. And by that time, we should have taken notes, because it's just to walk you through what I believe are the areas that are important for us when we are planning for retirement. As I mentioned, it is a personal responsibility. we must always be alive to the fact that, number one, we'll retire. I know we've been retiring in bits, depending on our age. We change job, that's a retirement. But there's a permanent retirement that will be coming when that time comes when you'll not be able to work. So let's reflect first. If you can see on my screen, there's this statement by Peter Nyakundi, founder and director of Ebony Resort. I got this from Sunday Nation, when he was saying that waiting until retirement to start my business was a big mistake that cost me. So this statement is loaded in that many a times, instead of starting something before you retire, we wait until the last minute. And with that, basically what it means is that what you could have done, what you could have just walked into, then takes a long time before it catches up. So let's not be in that position where we start regretting that I wish I could have started it earlier. Again, another reflection. I also got this from the newspaper, where there's a retiree who was actually saying that I feel unhappy and empty after I retired from my government job. What does this mean, ladies and gentlemen? What this means is that many a times when we plan to retire, having worked for a long time, we always look forward to a day that you relax. Nobody gives you orders. You do your stuff at your own pace. The luxury that comes with retirement. But retirement is not only in the perspective of wanting to rest, wanting not to be commanded, wanting not to be given orders. Retirement is huge, and we must look at it from the 360 degrees. So this lady could have looked at retirement because if I read the story, it was that she had money. So she thought that with money, then she will retire comfortably. So she went for many trips. She went for, she could travel anywhere. But after a while, she realized that, okay, it's not just about traveling. It is more than that. So guys, planning for retirement is totally important. And I just want to remind you, as Sidney Harris said, that our dilemma is that we hate change and love it at the same time. What we really want is for things to remain the same but get better. A human mind, or all of us as human beings, many a times is that we don't want change. We tend to think that we'll work until the last minute, we'll work forever, but that's not the reality. The reality is that there'll come a time that even with the stipulated retirement age, then you must actually ship out. So we must be ready to change. As it is said that change is the only constant. However, we don't want it. We want things to be better. We want that salary to continue. We want the good life that we currently live to continue. But what action are we taking at personal level to ensure that that good life, you are also planning for it when that job will no longer be there? So can we be ready to change? So with those said, I'll take you through 10 items that I call the retirement planning pillars that I believe that after this, if we follow through, then there'll be our dashboard in ensuring that actually our planning for retirement become better and we are alive to it. And by the time, you don't need to wait to be given a retirement termination letter, or you don't have to wait to be reminded that your retirement is due on this particular day. So these are the things that I'm going to discuss, and I believe they'll be able to answer the questions that I've seen that were directed to us. And if in any case they are not, then we'll be able to answer anything that is out of what I'm going to address. So pillar number one is you need to be asking yourself, from employment to what? Ladies and gentlemen, these questions, the question from employment to what is one of the most difficult ones. Remember also, changing a job becomes sometimes very difficult, because if you are used to a system, you are used to a people in where you work, sometimes changing to a new environment becomes really, really difficult. So if changing a job becomes a difficult, shifting from one estate to another becomes a difficult, can you imagine asking yourself, from where I'm working to what? How difficult can that be? And many a times we are driven by fear. the fear of the unknown. You don't know exactly what it will be because you've not retired. And one thing that I've come to learn in my work with people when we take them through this program is that we never attach ourselves. We never have mentors. We've never actually attached ourselves to people who have retired to just read and basically observe on exactly how they do it. So the thing is that depending on your age, the younger you are, then you'll not be asking yourself from employment to what. But I wish and hope that this can be our first question as we enter into employment. That what exactly will I be doing in case I retire? And if we start it early, then it becomes better. And with the what thing, it actually manifests in the sense that you'll start as having this identity crisis, because the what things comes with what will be my next title. Currently, you are a manager. If you retire, what title do you want to own? And I've seen it being a very difficult question for many people. No wonder once we are in employment, then we just want it to continue. You say that what will actually take care of itself when it comes, but that's not the basis. A good planner basically starts interrogating him or herself the earlier the better. Because the what, if you're able to answer the what, then the why comes in. Because if you know what you'll do after you've left employment, then the reason why you want to do what you wanted to do then comes into perspective. And the why should be in the affirmative, that this is something that I like. This is something that even if I'm not paid, then I'll want to do it. So the first pillar in retirement planning is asking yourself, what exactly will I wish to do when I get out of employment? And why will you want to do it? Now, let me speak to people who are in their 30s and 40s. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a generation where many of us will want to work up to 40. Then we start earning an income and continue earning that income up to 85. The times of loyalties are basically gone. And if you could see how volatile the work environment has become, then this, the first pillar becomes so fundamental in the way we want to look at retirement. So I believe and hope that this evening, as we go through this, then you need to be asking yourself, what is your what? What is that thing that you'll actually lay your hands on and will wish to actually do if actually that employment comes to an end? And that what must be compelling, because the what has the power, the what has the purpose. And more so, the key thing is, I know age is a factor, but what we need to be looking at, don't concentrate so much on your age. I've seen people who've retired at 40. I've seen people who've actually moved on at 35. I've seen people who've moved on at 45, 50, depending on exactly your capability and how affirmative your what is. So the first pillar in planning for retirement, ladies and gentlemen, is the what. Let it be in the affirmative. Push away your fears, because the more you fear, the more you'll not actually step out. The more you fear, the more you'll not make that decision. The earlier you make the decision, the better. So the ball is in your court. Have the purpose, have the power. Let that identity crisis actually get you on the way, the ball rolling, so that your what can actually compel you to plan well for your retirement. Pillar number 2 is lifestyle management in retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that there's a lifestyle that we're used to. You know, as you work, there's a date that you know for sure salary will come in. Be it, if you're a banker, you know by 25th of every month, salary is always there. If you work in the parastatals and the government, you start getting paid from 15th to 21st. If you work in the private sector, you know very well that your salary from 25th, 26th, 27th up to 30th, and there are those that also overflow up to 5th. Now, that's a lifestyle that you might have been used to for the many years that you'll work. For instance, if you are able to work for 35 years, it is in you. It becomes part of you, part and parcel of you, that at this particular date, you know very well that your cash flow is low now and replenishment is coming. Now, that lifestyle, people get into shock the moment they retire. In that, if you are not able to plan well, know exactly, am I taking pension? And that pension, when will it be coming? And if you're being paid lump sum, are you investing, putting that money in a venture that will be able to pay you a monthly income, the same way your salary or the same way your employer used to pay you? Now, that becomes conflicting in many instances. And for those who will be paid lump sum, and we've seen them, you are paid lump sum, you put it in a business that you first of all did not understand. And remember, in business, once you put in money, you'll have employees, you'll have stock to take. So that cash flow get into the business, and to a larger extent, you find yourself reaching end of the month and you have nothing to even pay yourself. So what happens? It means that the lifestyle that you are used to when you are employed and the lifestyle now in retirement becomes totally different. With that, people start getting into depression. People start getting into depression. People start getting into shock. People start wondering now, why did I take this step? So there will be lifestyle changes, my brothers. The question that you need to ask yourself is, what am I doing? What are you doing? You need to audit. Do a self-audit. Have your checkbox. Have a list of things that you know in employment. These are the list of benefits, salary, and many things that you get as an employee. And when I walk out of employment, I believe I'll not have a salary, but I'll have taken pension. If it is not pension, then it will be rental income. If it is not rental income, it will be a business income if you actually want to go into venture. So do an audit of all the benefits that you currently have. And as you plan to retire, look at those benefits, look at your list and say, I'll continue with this, I'll discontinue this, I'll continue with that, I'll discontinue with this. So it is your responsibility now to make a list of the benefits that you're currently receiving so that you can be able to manage your lifestyle in a way that you are capable of, because you might not have everything. And I pray that all of us, when we retire, we'll have actually made good plans where we'll have the medical in place, we'll have the subscription to specific resorts or golf areas, and so many other things that we actually receive as benefits from employment. So the takeout out of this of lifestyle management, please have your checklist, make sure that you audit yourself so that you can be able to know which one to take with you in retirement, which one you basically drop because you are not able to afford it. Remember, the key thing is sustainability and affordability based on the amount of money that you'll have raised or you'll have accumulated during the time you are working. And one of the biggest problems that we have is that people procrastinate a lot. And procrastination and assumption that things will be well in retirement doesn't help. You must take the responsibility now. Do a continuous audit yourself so that as you walk into retirement, then you know basically what are those things that I'll go with and what are the things that I'll drop. And please be humble. Be humble and live within what you can afford rather than start pestering people, because many a times we are told we want to live as if we are still employed and yet we are retired. Many people walk into retirement thinking they are in employment. So you start still visiting the same joints that you used to visit while you're in employment, going to the same restaurants, and yet you've retired. So can you be able to scale down so that you know what exactly you can afford? So do a lifestyle audit, don't procrastinate, take the bull by the horn. Just ensure that you do this on a continuous basis. And the more you do it, then it gives you the possibility of looking at where the areas to improve on. Pillar number 3, and this basically goes with the pillar number 1, the what, is time management. Now, in my work with basically people who've retired and also people who are almost retiring, is that many a times we don't know what to do with the plenty of time that we'll have in retirement. Remember, currently, as you work, your employment or your employer takes 8 to 9 hours of your time. You wake up in the morning, you go to work, you schedule your job, come back late, sleep, and it has been a routine. Now, if you cannot answer your what, then it means scheduling time in retirement becomes so difficult. It becomes so lonely, so sad, and at that, it starts bringing gloominess. What should you do? Instead of wasting time, what we need to do is that part of proper planning is to ensure that you start slotting activities. You start looking forward onto the day. Because currently, if I may ask you, you've been going on leave, be it 21 days, be it 30 days, whichever leave days that you take. What do you do when you're on leave? Do you visit up country? Where do you go? Now, those things come to haunt us the moment, basically, we are looking forward to retirement. I can just give you a live example where one want to retire up country, but whenever they are on leave, they never go up country. So it means there are no identified activities that the moment they step out of employment, they'll do. Number 1, they are just visitors in their home counties. Number 2, they don't have friends. Number 3, they don't know where to start and what to do. So you need to start doing it while still in employment, ladies and gentlemen. Where you'll go for retirement, start looking for activities. What are those activities? Look for your hobbies. What are those things that you love the most? How do you ensure that you can even turn them into projects that can start earning you money? How do you ensure that you visit the people that you want to actually associate with the moment you stop, you actually step out of employment? So time management, if you mismanage this time now, it will come to mismanage you in retirement. So whenever you're on leave, please revisit and ask yourself, are the activities that I'm doing now are the ones that I'll be doing in retirement? Remember, leave is halfway being in retirement. Leave is part of retirement. Just looking at, and I believe you know that during Corona period, many people, there are so many hard lessons that we learned, that in actual sense, we can be active and we can actually ignite certain part of us to be productive in a certain area. And if you've learned your lesson during Corona, then it means that even retirement will be easy. So don't waste time now so that it becomes even worse in retirement. So look for hobbies, look for people to associate with, look for activities. Please engage yourself as early as now, so that when now it comes to retirement, it becomes even easier. Remember, retirement has 4 phases. And the phase number 1 is always the vacation, where you feel I've worked for 35 years. I just want to take a vacation. This takes between 6 to 1 month, 1 year, just vacating, traveling, visiting people that you had not been able to visit. After that, you realize, okay, I've done all this, so what do I do next? You understand? So if you don't schedule your time well, then that vacation will be short-lived. The other phase of basically retirement is the loss and lost, where now you've actually taken your time, you've slept the longest that you can, you've visited the people that you could visit, and now you are asking yourself, I've done this, I have nothing to do, you've lost power. Let's say you are a director, you are a manager, you are a supervisor, so you have no people to supervise, you feel so lonely. And that's where you realize after 1 to 2 years, some people actually go back to work because they've done what they thought retirement was, but in reality, it wasn't. So guys, how you schedule your time now will actually determine how your retirement will be. That's the time you find people start trying new things that they've never even done. People want to start investing in businesses that they've never even thought of because they have plenty of time, nothing to do, probably some money that is left somewhere. So they start engaging on things that they don't understand. Please don't do that. If you want to engage on things, start doing it while you're still in employment so that it becomes better. So the trial and error phase, please let it come now, not at the time you've retired. Because when it fails, then it becomes a problem and you'll go into depression. And that's the reason why you find many people now divorcing and many things happen. So time management is very crucial as a third pillar in ensuring that your planning into retirement becomes better. The fourth pillar that I'll wish also to talk about is a retirement home. Ladies and gentlemen, as we work, we must be alive to the fact that there'll come a time that probably we've been living in the city and that's not the place you want to retire in. But currently, because I've seen many people retire in the city where they used to work because they say that I have no friends up country. I don't want to retire there because the activities that I want to engage in are in the city. I've seen people retire in the city. But the quick question is, are you retiring in your own home or you'll keep on renting? And the other question that you need to be asking yourself, do you have people that will actually surround you in that home so that you don't end up lonely and you have people that will actually care about you? Because alternatively, then you'll have to go into a retirement home, one of those homes that are available near you. So part of proper planning and for us to achieve a fulfillment in retirement, ladies and gentlemen, is at the back of our mind, we need to ask, do I have a retirement home? Remember, currently, the regulations are very clear that you can actually utilize 40% of your total pot to actually start to get a retirement home. Because based on the many research that has been done, that many retirees, basically, many people used to retire. And one of the things that used to cobble a lot of money is a retirement home because they never used to have one. Remember, as you work also and you have family, you need to educate them. So many a times we find ourselves chasing so many things with very little money, and retirement beckons every day. I've looked at it, and by they say that time runs very fast. Can you imagine 2013 was just the other day. Today, our President Uhuru Kenyatta has retired. It was just like a blink of an eye, and he's gone. So you might think you have time, which is not there. So as we audit ourselves and look at our planning, one of the things that need to be in our dashboard, or on our dashboard for that matter, is that where am I going to retire? Do I have what I call a home? Just do something that will suit you. Don't overdo it. Because people have also done marvelous retirement homes, so big, and by the time they are retiring to those homes, the children are gone, you are only alone with your better half, and it becomes a very expensive affair and a sunk cost that you could have actually used to do other things. So you need to determine and know exactly where do you want to retire. And if you feel that you have no people to take care of you, please walk into a retirement home and start living with those young men like you by that time. So it is an option, but the key question is, are you planning for it? And what action are you taking? Are you taking advantage now of the regulation of the 40%? Or are you buying a plot early enough where now you can take loan from the SACCO, start building slowly with time, or loan from a bank and start building your retirement home? It is possible. I've seen people, there are those who start at 45, there are those who can start at 50, depending on when you feel that you want to actually have a retirement home. Remember, a retirement home is different from a family home. So you can have so many homes, but a retirement home is where you want to have a peace of mind and where you actually find consolence. When you sit there, you feel, okay, I'm home and I'm retired. Don't confuse it with having a family home. A family home, you can have it. Your first house can be a family home where your children, when now you live for upcountry, then they can be actually living there. So when you come to visit, you still have your bedroom and you still share with that. So guys, retirement home is another pillar that we must always have on our dashboard. Pillar number 5 is family and support system. Guys, if you want a fulfilling retirement, remember you must go home to a family. These are people who understand you. They know your weaknesses. They know your strengths. They'll receive you the way you are, bila ubaguzi. Unfortunately, we don't nurture that relationship as much. We get lost in the here and now. We get lost in the work. To an extent, we leave these people on their own and we are on our own. You've worked for 30-something years, only to realize that now the retirement is beckoning. And the people that you had left without caring, they are the people that you are going back to. What has that done to many people? It has actually killed a lot of retirement ambitions. Over and above the support system, have friends who can call you out whenever you are going wrong. Have friends who are true friends, but it starts with the family. So can you start building that now? Be friends with these people, your spouse, your children. If you don't fall within that category, who are these people who are very close to you? It could be your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad. So that whenever you call upon them and you tell them, I'm retiring, they'll tell you, what have you been waiting for? We are waiting for you. We've seen people when they say you are retiring, you are being asked, you are retiring to where? You are coming where? To do what? That is not proper planning. So family and support system, ladies and gentlemen, need to be nurtured. It needs to be on top of our dashboard so that when we retire, we actually comfortably walk in and people will embrace us. People will look forward to having us around because we've built that relationship. We've nurtured it. We respect each other. And more so, you ensure that you identify activities within the home that you can do. And for this, I'm talking to men, because men, we have this tendency, once you retire, you don't want to even in your own compound, you cannot slash. No wonder we have problem with our spouses. So you must also help. And part of it is that support system where they can see you also loving things that goes around and how they are done. Because if you do that, then your retirement will be fulfilling. Anything short of that, guys, you'll be shooting yourself on the foot. Another pillar is health, because they say that health is wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, as you plan for retirement and as you retire, we must be alive to the fact that we must eat well, we must exercise, we must watch over those unwarranted entertainment where, let's say you go for meeting the old guys like you, you spend the whole night in a pub. Those are things that you should have been doing when you're in your 20s. You reduce on the bad habits like excessive alcohol, excessive smoking, reduce on certain things that basically are not now healthy to you. If you want to enjoy your wealth, then you must look at your health. And I believe that if you do that, ensure that you do regular checkup. In many cases, I ask people, today you have a medical cover. Do you even go for those medical checkups? We don't. And for men in our 40s, ladies and gentlemen, for men in our 40s, we know that prostate cancer is something that starts registering. When is the last time that basically you are even tested for that? And all other things, blood pressure and many things that basically comes with our health. Remember now in retirement, there will be no that medical cover. So it means that that hard-earned cash is what you'll use. If you never used to go for a medical checkup when you had the cover paid by the employer, will you go when you have to use your cash? I believe you know the answer. Yeah. So watch over those habits that basically might make you not be healthy in retirement. We must start planning for our good health now. And we'll be talking, about the post-retirement medical scheme and many other things that you need to do in advance so that when that time comes, then you continue being healthy, looking at your plate, and actually talking to the doctor most of the time to look at the areas of your weaknesses. So with that, then it becomes that you prevent small illnesses or ailments that could have actually come your way instead of the curative aspect of it. The other pillar, ladies and gentlemen, is your network. And as they say, your network is your net worth. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have the ambition, remember the first pillar was the what? If you have the ambition to actually be an entrepreneur, if you have ambition to open a venture, you cannot open this without network. Build a collaborative and a concrete network within your work area and outside work area. Are people that you can actually bounce an idea to and they tell you this will work, this might not work. Are people who will believe in you that they actually you can achieve. So build your network as part of planning into retirement, because if you do that, then it means that if you have a venture to go into, then people will embrace your idea, people will embrace your product, people will actually take something from you, and you'll be able to actually start running it. A healthy network helps you in retirement. Are we together? So have those retirement goals. If it is a business, if it is a venture, attach yourself to someone, have a mentor. I think one thing that I belabor so much is that many of us want to retire, but we don't have mentors. We don't attach to ourselves to people who had retired. We leave our colleagues just go like that because you are still in employment. You don't think that they are important to you. No. Part of proper planning is ensuring that actually you even attach to people and you can actually read and observe and know what they do. What are the areas of their failures? What are the areas of their success? Guys, retirement is not easy. You know, we are talking here comfortably because we are not here yet, but it is a fact. It is coming. So part of proper planning is just to ensure that is your network capable of giving you some net worth out of that particular network? Can they actually be people who you can depend on when you need them at that particular time? So please, the homework that I'm giving you this evening, expand your network, audit your network capacity. Look at the people that you have and ask yourself, are there people who can help me whenever I need help? Are there people who can take me to the next level? Can I lean on their shoulders as we move on to the next level? So guys, it is not just about talking about it. It is by doing it. And that's the reason why I'm so passionate about this. I'm also working on mine. And the more we discuss it, the more it becomes real so that we can actually do our part. The other pillar, ladies and gentlemen, is embracing technology. So guys, I can tell you for a fact. Victoria, please, can you mute? Victoria, Berin, can you mute, please? Thank you. Embracing technology. Why am I saying this? Since 2020, you've seen how things have become volatile and things change within a very short time. Things that we had thought could take 5 years takes months. As part of your retirement planning is that whatever you want to do, whatever venture, even if you will not have a venture, let's say you'll have enough money, you have people who surround you, who loves you so much, but you must move from one place to another. Be in a way that you can even do your booking online on your own so that you don't go through agents, so that you reduce on expenditure. So technology is the in thing. You will not excuse yourself that I'm old. Unfortunately, in this day and age, technology do not know whether you are 60, 80, 90, whatever age, you must embrace it. So as you plan, look at the horizon and ask yourself, whatever I want to do, what element of it will be technologically driven so that it can make your work easier, reduce on cost. Remember, in retirement, you need each and every coin. And if there are things that you can do on your own, the better, so that you reduce on cost. We have instances where retirees did not embrace technology, only for them to be swindled. Nowadays, the bank is on your telephone because you must log in online, transfer the money from the bank to your wallet, to your M-Pesa account. Everything is online. So the moment you're still living in the old age where you want to actually drive, for instance, you've retired up country, and where the branch of your bank is like 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers. Can you imagine the cost, what it will cost you to drive or to pay for boda boda or pay for transport to and fro? You've had examples where this Inua Jamii, where Mwazees are being paid by the government. Now, they are paid through their bank accounts. The bank account is 30 kilometers from where they are. You are paid 2,000 in a month, in a month. There are those who are complaining that the fare they use alone to go and pick 2,000 is too much. Now that brings technology closer to you, so that when you are paid, you just transfer it to your M-Pesa wallet and you are able now to use it. So technology must be and remain one of the best or one of the pillars for planning for retirement. At the time you are retiring, where will be technology? What are the things that you need basically to use conveniently? Another pillar is continuous learning. Ladies and gentlemen, for the long that you've lived on this earth, there are experiences. There are those of us who've started businesses that probably we did not understand, but because you had a loan, you invested, and we've learned our lessons. There are those of us looking at how far we've come. We've made a lot of mistakes. What did you learn from those mistakes? Did you correct, or will you continue doing the same thing over and over, which becomes insanity? Part of planning for retirement is that you must become a lifelong learning person. Read books, attend seminars, webinars, contribute to an area of your expertise. As you plan for retirement, which area, where are you planning to go to? If you are retiring up country, have you started to actually walk back to your former school, be it secondary school, primary school, so that you can become a board member? The nearest technical college that is there, with the wealth of experience that you have, can you actually pour it out to people who need it? So guys, retirement doesn't mean that you stop thinking. Retirement doesn't mean that you don't read. Retirement doesn't mean that you don't come up with new ideas and way of doing things. Retirement doesn't mean that you don't also dream and also learn from other people. Engage. Look at how you'll actually, because by learning, you know, they say that we start rotting from the head. The moment you give a pause to your head, then it means you'll accelerate very fast. But the moment you engage, you keep the wisdom, you become engaged in things that jog your memory, then you'll find yourself younger and younger and younger. And somebody looks at you at 70 and asking, are you 50? You need to continue learning. You need to continue to learn. Lifelong learning becomes relevant. I hear there are consortiums of experts where retirees can actually join to be a member, so that whenever organization needs people, let's say you used to be an engineer, you used to be an accountant, you used to be in HR, whichever your profession, they are currently consortium of retirees. And I can see non-governmental organizations like UN, they're actually making use of these people because they have knowledge that the current generation don't have. So they engage you and they pay you in retirement. People is in their 70s and 80s are currently being actually engaged in areas of their expertise. So guys, we need to embrace learning, not only now, but into the future. Keep young. No wonder in the West, you find that the moment a president retires, and let me just presidency, in that they engage in activities of writing books, seminars, and so many things that they engage in to actually now pour out the knowledge that they had. And they earn a lot. So if you're looking for areas basically that you can actually be effective on, your areas of expertise now can be and will be a catapult to a better retirement. Financial security vis-a-vis freedom. Remember the first statement, when we were starting, when we were doing the reflection, where the lady who used to work with the government, she accumulated a lot of money, and she thought that having money in itself is retirement. No. But the question here is, why is financial one of the pillar in retirement? And what are you looking forward to? What is the difference between financial security and financial freedom? The simple difference you cannot.
I don't know, we lost you at some point. Antonio, we have lost you. Kindly hold, you're trying to reach him so that at least you can get back.
I've been muted. Then you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You can see my screen?
No, apparently no.
Apparently no.
Yes, maybe you
so
can.
I was on, just a moment.
Financial security.
We were on financial security, just a moment. Where has it gone to? Okay, it's hanging, eh? But you can hear me. So on financial security, what I was saying is that what we need to do is to ensure that we are working for financial freedom. What do I mean by financial freedom? It means that you are able to accumulate enough for you to be able to enjoy the life that you wish to enjoy at the time you want to enjoy it. Is the screen on now?
Sure, it's okay.
Good. So let's not work only for financial security, the little that we are just comfortable. I'm just comfortable with the 7.5 deduction and the employer does another 10%. and you don't revisit and look at, will that be sufficient at the time I'm retiring? We need to actually go beyond the normal contribution rates, diversify our income streams so that you have stocks that by the time you are retiring, they're able to pay you enough dividend. You have property. By the time you are retiring, they're able to give you reliable rental income. You've invested in companies that are able to pay you dividend and interest income. So let's go beyond the comfort zone, that so long as the employer is doing the normal deduction, then you are okay. No, we need to work for financial freedom. Will that money be reliable? Will it be sustainable? The key question for any retiree is sustainability of the amount of money that you have in retirement. And many of us are not actually hitting to that spot. The sweet spot should be that you have a lot of money to an extent in a year you can visit Europe, America, Asia. You can actually traverse Africa because you can afford it. And that's the kind of life you are looking at. But do we do that? I'm sorry, no. I know people will tell me that we have responsibilities, yes. But everything is about planning. Everything is ensuring that we do what we call delayed gratification. Why should you use everything now, only for you to realize that I'm retiring in the next 5 years and you have nothing to live on? Remember, money is power. It gives you the power. You know, if you have money, you feel good. You feel comfortable. I know, ladies and gentlemen, you without money and you with money, there's a totally different thing. You are a totally different person. When you have money, there's a lot of, you feel powerful, confident. You can actually do whatever you want because you have money. Whenever you run short of money, you feel timid. You feel like you don't want to associate with people. You feel like the unwanted one. But it is all within our capability. So I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, let's work for financial freedom, where even your children will respect you because they know that dad or mom did the right thing. He saved. He ensured that he does not rely on us because he's able to actually take care of himself in retirement. I've mentioned number one, look at your pension statement. Ask yourself, if you are to retire in the next 10 years, will that amount, just do your contribution and put a percentage of your income and ask yourself, will that amount be able to take care of your retirement needs? If not, then do something extra. Number two, look at the property portfolio. If you've bought land, if it is not giving you a return now, you can either sell it off so that you can put that money in stocks or bonds or bills for that matter, something that can start generating cash. The key question is within your pyramid of your portfolio, you should not leave any idle cash anywhere, especially for those of us who are in our 4th floor, going to 5th floor. We need to actually revisit all our assets. And whenever I train, I always ask people, do an asset register. Look at your assets, where they are, be it up country, be it in the town that you are. Ask yourself, for the last 5 years, this land, has it generated any income? Or is it just the appreciation out of it? And what is it for? Is it where you'll want to build your retirement home? If not, can you do some rental on it? If not, then sell it off so that you bring that money in places where it can start earning. That's how you build financial freedom. But what do? There are people who just love cash staying in the account idle. If you do that, then the bank basically uses the cash to give to people who want to use the money. There are people whose property, they know very well, the properties actually are not income generating. But because they have an attachment to it, they don't want to actually sell it off. You cannot do that to build financial freedom. You must make the hard decisions based on the assets and what you have so that you can actually attain your financial freedom. So guys, the ball is in your court. Look at what you have. What do you have in your hand? Spread yourself. Seek for advice. Unfortunately, many of us give this. You have a lot of information, but many people will want to be told what to do. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wait to be told what to do, then you'll never do anything. You must take action yourself. You know your capability. You know your capacity. You know what you have. I don't know how much you have currently. The key thing is just seek advice. And if it is an area that of your interest, please bounce into action. With that, then we'll actually be able to attain our financial freedom. Because this is one thing that I'm looking forward to. That day when I call it off, I call it quit, I'll be able to be free financially, to be able to achieve my retirement goal. So help me God. So it should be to you also. So let's work hard. It's not easy, but it is possible. Money will never be enough, but how we manage it, how we interact with it in a small way. If you can make a difference in a small way, then even the bigger way will come through. But if you misuse it in the small way, then even if we give you more, then your financial freedom will never come. The last pillar that I want to talk about is protection. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want a proper retirement, part of it is to ensure that you take care of your protection. What does it entail? Number one, currently as you work, one of the protection that you have is the group life, that in any case you pass on today, then the company will pay 3 times of your annual salary or 4 times of your annual salary, depending on the company policy, to your beneficiaries and dependents. But what happens when you retire? You also need to take a life cover so that if anything happens to you, then the same beneficiaries and dependents, the insurance company will pay them. You can only do that if you have sufficient money in your pot that can actually make you purchase a group life. Or not a group life, but a life cover for you from any insurance company. Number 2, part of the protection that you must have is an emergency account. I know we struggle a lot in employment. We struggle with cash. But in our struggle, we need to form a habit of putting aside some emergency amount so that if anything happens, you have a death case, you have a medical case within the family, then you have a pot that you can basically go into and get money without having to start fundraising. So it is a habit that we must work with and start planning now and even in retirement. Because if in retirement, you'll actually even need more of the emergency fund. Remember that, okay, I just want to share that in my journey with people who are retiring, and I've had conversation, very candid conversation of retirees currently who are supporting their children and even grandchildren. Why? Because the labor market is not able to absorb these people. If you had saved enough and you have enough pension, you have other streams of income, then you cannot stop supporting your children and even their children. So in case of medical issue, then they have an emergency account where they can go into to sort it out. So let's learn that part of planning is having an emergency fund so that it can take care of emergency issues, especially in retirement. Remember, by that time, you'll have less cash. By that time, not many friends who will be able to support you. So can you do it yourself? The last thing on protection is the last expense. As they say in Swahili, jizike ungali hai. Part of proper planning is just make sure that you have a last expense cover, so that if you run under a bus, then even your funeral arrangement does not take 1 month, does not take 3 weeks. It takes less than a week, because already you had in place a last expense cover for you and even your wife. So ladies and gentlemen, the key thing is retirement is a must. It is a fact. Just like death, just like paying taxes. Retirement is a personal responsibility. If you wait for anyone to do it for you, it will never come. You've not retired, yes. I don't know at what age you want to retire. The other thing that I want to reiterate is that we must have the magic number. What is the magic number? Have a figure that you're working with, that by the time I'm hitting my retirement age, I should have this amount as my retirement package. Many of us, I think, because we concentrate so much on the here and now, we never put that magic number on our dashboard, and we never review it as it is required. So the ball is in your court, just to ensure that if you can follow through all those 11 or 10 pillars that I've just talked about, then believe you me, on a yearly basis and revisit, then retirement will not be a problem. The problem will be, where do I go? How do I use the money? And whom do I use it with? So just to take you back, number one is the what. So have your what ready. That will basically propel you to the next level. Number two, look at your lifestyle. Audit what basically you think you'll actually work with into retirement. Number three, start managing your time now when you go on leave, and the areas that you'll want basically to utilize your time well, so that when you walk into retirement, then you don't have a lot of time to waste by procrastinating, because already you filled in your schedule with activities, hobbies that will make you better. Retirement home becomes another fundamental issue. Where do you want to retire? How big the house should be? Do you want to do it when you are 10 years to retirement, 15 years to retirement, 5 years to retirement, or at the time you are leaving employment, that's when you want to set your retirement home? Have a family and support system that will actually embrace you whenever you go and you want them. Watch over your health, because it will help you to actually enjoy your wealth by ensuring that you drop those bad habits. Revisit your network. How good or bad are they? Are these people who can actually propel you to the next level? Embrace technology, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot drop it now. You must be on top of things. You must be tech savvy as you actually plan for your retirement. Do continuous learning. Look at how you engage. Register with the consortiums, so that even with that, then you can actually bring in the next generation. Then, second last, are you working for financial security, or you're working for financial freedom? And I've said that let's all work towards financial freedom. What are those things that you need to do? Whenever you don't understand anything, please talk to your fund administrator, talk to the expert in this area. Please don't fear paying to get an expert opinion or expert views on the areas that you want to. The reason why we actually go into poverty is that the retirement poverty is that we know what we want, we know what basically our hearts want, but we are very cautious in paying for the services. So let's be ready to pay, sit down with the mentors, look at people who've been there, what are their lessons, what are their experiences, and work with them. And lastly is protection. So make sure that you take a life cover, you take a medical cover, by the way. A medical cover is very important on this area also. There's the post-retirement medical scheme, if you can start working on it, or Immediately, you can actually register with NHIF and also take a private medical cover. These are things that you can still engage your service providers, engage your administrator, be it NWealth, be it CPF, and any other that is in the industry, so that you can get to know who are they, what do I need to do on medical cover, and many things that comes with it. Then the life cover, please make sure that you are covered, so that if anything happens to you today, then your family, your beneficiaries, your dependents basically get paid. And last expense, jizike ungali hai, just make sure that you are covered, your spouse is covered, so that we actually reduce the fundraising issues. And lastly, learn to have an emergency account. And if we do that, then it becomes easier to plan for retirement. With that said and done, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I had for you. If you're able to follow those pillars, then I believe that you'll be able to walk that journey. Remember, this is a journey. It is not a destination. And with that, it means that you must trust the process. You must trust yourself, and you are the one in control. So that said and done, back to you, Dan Okinyi, for if there's any question or answer, and I'm ready to do that.
Thank you so much, Anthony. It was very, very informative. And apparently we have more than 50 questions. I don't know how to do it.
I've been able to answer them on those pillars.
But some of the questions may require an independent webinar, something like on taxation. We may not handle it now.
Mm-hmm.
But there is this question on, maybe you can take a minute or so and shed light on people who are self-employed, or people who are working in SMEs. How can they plan for their retirement? Then there's a question on, maybe you can start with that, and I can give you two or three. I can sample 2 or 3 more questions. Then you can see how you can handle that.
Good, thank you for that. And for those who are self-employed, by the way, I think you have your task. You have to take responsibility, because for you have to push yourself. Now, for those who are in SMEs, self-employed, number one, please, already the retirement sector is already designed. There are service providers who are there who offers the retirement benefit administration. One of them is NWealth, who is the sponsor of this program, CPF. And if you go to RBA website, you can actually find all the providers who offer personal pension plan arrangement. So what you need to do is to ask yourself, put an age. For instance, you are 30 now. You want to retire at the age of 60. So it means you have 30 years to put aside money for retirement. Remember what I said, what is your magic number? If, for instance, you want a 10 million fund as your retirement package, then you work backwards. You divide 10 million by 30 years. Then that gives you, on a monthly basis, how much are you supposed to be contributing towards your retirement pot. So for SMEs, self-employed, please take action, visit service providers who offer personal pension plan. Make sure you open an account, and by opening an account, it means you start saving for your retirement. Dan?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anthony. The next question, that I think this one I might just answer it. I don't even have to bother you with it. Somebody saying that their magic number is 100,000. How much do they need to save per month? How much do they need to save per month to have 100,000 at retirement? Maybe just to give you what you'll need per month is around 10,000. That will give you 120,000 per month at an interest rate of conservative interest rate of 9,000. Will give you, after 25 years of saving, you'll have in your pot something to do with 11.7 million, which will be able to give you an annuity or an income drawdown of around 100,000 per month. So all these, we can help you work them out based on, because it involves actuarial functions or actuarial computations. We can help you come up with them. And I see most of these questions involves more like personal planning. Somebody is asking a question on, this is more like on a personal point of view. Maybe you can just shed more light on it. He's saying that what will happen if you still have your children in school and you have retired and don't have an adequate finance to educate them? What are some of the ways? What are some of the possible ways to handle that?
Just come again. What will happen if you
have children in school? You have at the point that you're retiring. What do you do if you don't have adequate finances?
Now, that is happening a lot currently, ladies and gentlemen. We live in a very volatile markets and work environment. And I think, as I shared, is that I've interacted with retirees who are currently actually taking care of their children and their grandchildren. So what happens is to look at your capability. And that goes back now to real financial planning. So in a situation where you find you have now to educate your grandchildren, number one is to look at how much are you earning as pension on a monthly basis. Once you answer that question, then you ask, where are these children going to school? So if you're not able to afford based on your disposable income after you've met your normal retirement needs, then you can even change those children to public or a school that is affordable. So that question goes directly in total financial planning, where now you need to be budgeting so that you can be able to live within the income that you are getting as a pensioner or as a retiree. So those are habits now that we need to go into, look at it, look at your expenditure with a toothpick so that you are able to actually sustain your retirement and able to also take care of your family in case they don't have income and you are the one to take care of them. Dan?
Thank you. I think this one I'll just take it a simple one. What's the difference between pension and provident fund? Pension is where the major difference normally comes at retirement. At retirement, if you're in a pension scheme, then they will pay you a third, then the 2/3 you'll use to purchase an annuity or an income drawdown. But if you're in a provident fund will pay you everything as a cash lump sum, excluding applicable taxes. I think up to that point, there is maybe, Anthony, you can take this last question. How can somebody plan 10 years to retirement? How can somebody plan himself 10 years to retirement?
How can somebody plan 10 years into retirement?
How can somebody plan himself 10 years to retirement?
Now, I like that. You know, planning is action. Planning, basically, it means if you have 10 years to retirement, number one, you must ask yourself, we go back to the pillars, is there's an exercise that I always give people when they actually attend my training, is that the retirement readiness index. And the retirement readiness index always asks number one. Number one is equivalent of the pension. Number two is you ask yourself, the medical scheme, if I have 10 years to retirement, will I be able to actually take care of my medical in retirement? Do I have a scheme currently, or what are the options that are available? Number three is the issue of school fees. And you start asking yourself, 10 years into retirement, how many of my children are still in school? Where are they studying? How much is required as school fees? then you are able to know by the time I'm retiring, I'll only have one person, or I'll have all the children have gone through school. So it means that the school fees expense is no longer there. Number 4, you look at a retirement home. You are asking yourself, I'm retiring. Where am I going? Am I going to Siaya? Will I remain in Nairobi? Will I remain where I am? And do I have that retirement home? And then the other thing is you look at debt and start asking is that how much debt in the next 10 years, the debts that currently have accumulated, be it through the SACCO, be it through the bank and any other financier, will I have finished paying them? Because one of the most pressing issue when it comes to retirement is retiring in debt. Many people find retiring, if you are in debt, very, very difficult. And so many other things that you need to list down and ask yourself those questions. So the Retirement Readiness Index basically just makes you properly well attuned to the fact that in the next 10 years, I'm able to retire. And number 1, I have pension, or if not pension, already I have a business that will be able to take care of my day-to-day running. And I'll have no any other place to go to, and I'll be able to take care of myself. So guys, the key thing is just go to the pillars and just follow them through. Let them be your checklist. And on a yearly basis, do an audit and ask yourself, where are you on those particular areas that we've discussed? Dan?
Thank you so much. I think I'll stop at that. If you are not able to sample your question, please we'll find a way of answering them. But feel free to contact us at Hallmark. We'll be able to respond to your question, because most of them are more like touching on personal planning, which may not be which are unique to each and every one of us. So we'll invite all of you to, you can schedule a meeting with any of us. We'll be able to guide you on how to plan for your retirement. At this particular juncture, it will be good for me to mention that this webinar was sponsored by Hallmark as the principal sponsor, but though we also have other partners. We have CPF and NWealth who are providing insurance, who are providing pension solutions. Both of them provide IPP, which is a saving. IPP simply means personal saving schemes, which allows individuals who are in self-employment to save for their pension. So I'll welcome my colleague Yvonne to introduce our other sponsors. Yvonne, if you're in.
Thank you so much, Dan. Much regards to our speaker today, Mr. Francis. That was quite informative, and I'm sure that all of us have learned quite a lot from the presentation. So I'd like to invite Kate. Kate is from BF Suma, one of our sponsors. And one thing you'll notice that she will be able to help you in case you're still lost in this planning of your retirement. She has something that we could take up to help us with our pillar number 3 and pillar number 6. If you remember, pillar number 3 was time management in retirement, and pillar number 6 was health. So Kate is going to talk about what they do at BF Suma and how those products would be of help to you if you could take them up now, because they would help you manage your time in retirement. Or even now, you could take it up as a side hustle that you can do. It's something that will help improve your financial well-being as well as your physical well-being. So Mr. Francis said health is wealth. So you can start it now as early as possible. So I'll now invite Kate to tell us what BF Suma does, and probably take us through how we could be part of them to be able to take care of those 2 pillars in retirement, or even now. It's good to have more streams of income before or even after retirement. So Kate, karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Yvonne. Thank you, Mr. Anthony Othiambo. I have learned so much today that I think I'm one of those people who sent the many questions. But beyond that, other than that, I am Kate Munene, head of marketing in BF Suma. By profession, I am a business management by training. I am a marketer and a member of CIM. Mr. Anthony today has summarized my story, everything, because, and very expoundly so. When he talked about pre-retirement, when he talked about learning, continuous learning, health, taking care of your health, extra income, that was all in my, he echoed actually my thoughts. Most, I'm thinking, instead of just repeating everything he has, and he has really taught us and explained in detail. My story might give somebody a very short story in 2 minutes, what I'm just going to summarize about. So for me, I got into this industry called network marketing. I tell people by mistake, and I came to realize that lady was probably sent by God. They're called destiny helpers, or the name you would want to call them. And as a student, she said, you see, you can do something on the side and get yourself extra pocket money. That was exciting, but I thought I've never done any business and I'm a career person. So what is this? But anyway, she said, I'll help you. And I got started. Of course, I got trained. I got to make extra pocket money. With time, I realized I was able to help my parents pay part of the school fees. And as I continued, I got to have a job, started working. I got some extra income, again, apart from the salary. And the idea of the marketing plan in this network marketing, I cannot give it in details, but at our offices, the people who are interested can come and have a look at it. And this network that I started very small with only me and telling another friend and another student and another coworker that is something we can do part-time, ended up birthing other businesses that I got to into transport and Airbnb. What am I talking about? What is my take in this industry? Because I've been in the same industry for over 10 years, working, doing this part-time. Around 2019, like most people know, I lost my job. So I was left with my businesses to run. And that's when I realized that start that networking today and build it slowly. 2020, 2021. So now currently, yes, I'm working, but I've not left the business yet. And what I can say is my take, what can I say? My take has been, one, being able to provide health solution to my family, to friends and people I love and people around me, using alternative, I call it alternative medicine. If you ask the experts, they tell you there's medication, the one that the doctors give us, and there's the other one that we call food. Food is also a very great curative if we're able to eat well, and our lifestyles are bad. We are eating junk food and all that. That's why teenagers are getting in diabetes, all those kind of lifestyle diseases because of food. Another thing I got from this industry, I'm still getting, is personal development. Personal development comes in when you read books. Mr. Anthony has really expounded on that. They say when you learn, you remain green, and when you stop learning, you rot, like your mind, because you have to keep learning every day. And I got a lot of personal development training, and you are taught how to train as you learn. The third thing, the first one is a health solution. There is a lot of personal development, and there's a business solution. In most cases, you start with very little capital. I didn't have a lot of money in campus per se. So most of the times we don't start businesses because you're thinking, oh my God, where am I going to get that capital? And it becomes, just brush it off. You're too young, or you're too, as we've been told, we live by the day. You pay expenses, even if your salary is added, now you move to a more expensive neighborhood. So at the end of the day, you're not saving even. And there's a book I love very much. If you can go and look for this book, The Richest Man in Babylon, has really done wonders for me in terms of saving, explains very well. So that, and also what you need, again, I will refer to Mr. Anthony a lot. I think him and I should just sit down. It's use of your social capital, your networks. That's the biggest investment you will need to do this. Best thing of it is that you get a mentor. You get somebody to take you through the business. In other cases, you start a business and you're on your own. There's no one to tell you, don't step here. There's a big hole, I stepped there previously. Don't step on that, you'll fail. And so right now, if I ask ourselves, how many people have we saved our contacts? We have so many people. And you realize that someone is looking for something to do. Job security has become an issue. That is one thing. So it's up to you just to get that person and like-minded people who are looking for a solution. I have learned so much in terms of what I should invest in bonds and group life. And now that makes me want to work harder on my businesses to be able to save some of these things. And so that important aspect of that, your social capital, your network, you don't need to know people, strangers. You just need to know people that probably are in your phone, and then you get started. And build it part-time if you're working, or if you're in school. Some people do it full-time. I've seen so many in our training rooms. I am also a trainer that give their stories, and then they retired. After retiring, they didn't have money, they didn't know what to do. And then someone suggested that is a good place because when you stay in the house, you get a lot of stress. So they come into the business and they get to grow in the business, and you find people who are very excited. And at the same time, you find that they bring in their friends who are retired. Of course, the business is for everyone who is 18 years and above. What I can say is that as the day I met Irene, we sat down and we figured this out, and she partnered with us. And I told her, we need to work with like-minded people. When we realized that, listen, my salary is not enough. The cost of living is so high, and I need an extra income. And here is a solution. So most of the time we learn about businesses and how we are supposed to, like the talk today, it was so profound, but then you realize, where do I start? Where do I go? What advice? So for somebody interested in changing his life, her life, and people around you in a positive way, people who will remember you, people who will not be coming to you and telling you as you try to plan your money, nisaidie na sotano, thou. I know we have those people in our lives, and the handouts. Tell them, here, there's something I know. There's a fish. I need you to go fish for yourself. And for me, I can say it's been a very, very wonderful experience that I took that decision, because I've been able to do some of the things that Mr. Anthony here has told us. And so for me, I cannot just stay with it. I have a solution. And if somebody is interested, if somebody is thinking the same way, then they can contact me, because we are planning to work together with Irene on bringing this solution aboard, because I know there are questions that will be asked. There's a lot, but it's a business you can start with as low. I can tell you now is, sorry, somebody made a call. So what I can tell you for now is I will leave my number probably on the comments and my email. I've already written my email, but I can write them in the same message. For more information, you can contact me. Our offices are on Jaquat Towers, very close to the offices, Hallmark offices, 5th floor. When you come in there, you ask for Kate Monene, and you will be directed to my office. And what I can say is I hope that we continue engaging in this kind of conversations, because there are so many people out there that that are looking for businesses, that are looking for health solutions, and they just don't know where to get started. And so if we work together, I'm very sure that we will make this possible. I want to say thank you very much for this chance to present this to you today. I hope I'll be attending most of these webinars, and Let us talk. I'll put my contacts there and my email address. Let us engage and let's see the way forward. Otherwise, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Yvonne. Be blessed. Thank you.
Bless you too, Kate. Thank you so much for that information. I think you said you'll share your contact so we can get it from the chat, or probably we'll also share the same for those who have sent their emails. And anyone who wants to talk to you or to reach out to you can also get in touch through the contacts that you're sharing. So thank you so much, Kate. I'll now take it back to Dan.
Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. I think at this particular juncture, it is late. We'll call it an end. With the knowledge that you have acquired, we wish you'll be able to share with others. At the same time, we'll upload this presentation on our YouTube channel. You'll be able to get it from there. And those who have shared their emails addresses will share the slides to your email. Otherwise, thank you and have a blessed evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan. Thank you. Blessed night.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful night.
Thanks so much. I'm blessed. I've learned a lot.